It's Friday, April 24th. Um, it's almost 7 p.m. Still pretty light outside. Um, I just about stopped doing this today, meaning I just wasn't going to do this today. um, Last night I was tossing and turning a lot, thinking, why? Why am I doing this? And maybe I'd had enough. Um, I thought I had a call today that I was going to record, and I had forgotten that the person I was speaking to just wanted a photo session, like a remote photo session. So it was meant to be sort of a scouting call, and that was meant to take about 15 minutes. And I spent 4 hours on the phone with her. 3 hours, 4 hours, I don't know. I don't know, just the whole day. Um, and we didn't record it, and I wouldn't have wanted to anyway because it would have changed the nature of it or the feeling of it. And I missed office hours for my branding class, uh, and I'm still really glad I did it. And I spent all that time connecting with one person that I met, I think in 2017. So I think about 3 years ago. But I didn't know her very well. And I'd seen her a couple times since then. We're friends on Facebook, but I still didn't know her very well. And I didn't know her story. And obviously, we had a pretty amazing call because otherwise, why would you stay on the phone for 4 hours? We just never ran out of things to talk about, which is funny because I think both of us are that sort of person. You know, we love real connection and intimate but wide ranging conversation. Um, so it was a kind of interesting day. Obviously, not much else happened. Um, and it's funny, maybe an hour after that call, Sydney was commenting on something I said yesterday on this recording. And I said, "You listen to my recordings?" He said, "Yes, babe, I listen to all of them." So, hi, Sydney. um, who knew? I didn't know. I don't know. I just do these for no particular reason. Um, I just watched this incredible and somewhat disturbing documentary called Out of Shadows, which it's sort of like the conspiracy theory to end all conspiracy theories, and it's pretty damn compelling. 10 million people have watched it. I don't even know how it's not banned or not allowed to be on YouTube, which is where I saw it. Um, I don't even know what to say about it. It was overwhelming. It was about the people who control us, about humans being controlled, about the people that control our government, control our messaging, control the news, control media, control Hollywood. Which is weird because I have connections to a lot of that and those people. Um, but I also don't feel like a person who is um, controllable. I could be wrong. Maybe I'm a puppet right now, but I don't feel that way um, because I don't have any particular um, desire for fame, fortune, big success, like flashy, whatever. I don't even know what to call that. Um, I would rather spend my whole day talking for 4 hours with one person if the conversation feels meaningful to me. And that's probably always going to be who I am and what I care about, which is a really big part of the reason why I'm even with someone like Sydney. um, because I guess you could say I've had two other um, major long-term relationships. I've had a sort of a series of long-term relationships in my life, always with basically super smart, super successful men. Um, but I felt like there was a piece of that puzzle that was me living in my head, living with people living in their head. And I needed to drop into my heart and my body and things that weren't happening at that time. And I'm not pointing the finger at those men or those relationships. It's just, it's who I was at the time. I mean, even the woman I was speaking with today, who I met 3 years ago, said she felt I was a different person when we met back then. I think the word she used was desperate. Like I seemed more desperate. And I can't remember what I would have been desperate about other than learning. I just wanted to soak it all up. Um, we actually met at a Sue Mortar event. It's a recurring theme of my videos. And there's something about Sue that brings out um, this much deeper, much more, I don't know, connected, real part of me. And partly because she talks so much about getting out of your head and into your body. And I wasn't there. And it's, I mean, how funny that Sydney's a trainer, fitness trainer. He's all in his body all the time. He's actually, I don't know if you can hear this, but he's teaching the Brazilians right now, um, like a handful of people who live all over Brazil. Um, so, yeah, that was a really big piece of the puzzle for me, which is interesting because, in high school, people would have said I was such a jock. Um, I did every sport. I did it in grammar school and high school. And I wonder if that was me trying to get in my body um, because of all the different things that were going on in my life and the trauma of divorce and my parents screaming at each other all the time and the tension that I could feel in our house was painful, and it was something I just absorbed into my body. And I think that's what sensitive people do. They just absorb whatever is around them. And when you're a kid, you just take it all in. Like, this is normal. This is what's wrong with this? Doesn't everybody have this? Except I had such a sense of shame about it. I remember feeling in probably third grade that I was the only kid in my class whose parents were getting divorced. And that can't be true. But I don't know because I was so embarrassed about not having a dad in the house. I was so embarrassed about it that I couldn't. I remember going to a restaurant, very, very specific memory of a specific restaurant. I think it was a Chinese restaurant on Geary at some point when my mom was single, my dad was gone, and I needed to go to the bathroom. And I was afraid to ask where it was. That's like, I remember being ashamed to walk in the restaurant. And I think they asked if we had a reservation. And that was just the thing that my dad always took care of, sort of taking charge, taking control, saying who the reservation was for, and then being seated in a restaurant. And to have my mom do it was embarrassing to me, which is so weird. But that's what I remember. That's how I remember it. Um, yeah, I remember wandering around looking for the bathroom, but I couldn't couldn't speak about it. I couldn't say anything to anyone. I couldn't ask anyone a question. Like I was just supposed to know. God, that's crazy, right? Um, anyway, I think that's a big part of why I do these videos. It's just for me. It's just for me to practice speaking and practice speaking up for myself, and I can say whatever the heck I want to say. Um, and there's a lot I don't say, and that's okay too, because I don't have to say everything. um, it's just practice. It's probably practice for something else, for the next thing I'm doing, whatever the heck that might be. And last night when I was trying to fall asleep, I was thinking, oh, well, I've done this for 28 days, I think, or give or take. It could be 28, could be more, could be less. I don't know. But I vaguely recall that it takes 28 days to change a habit. So if I've done this for 28 days, then I've changed the habit, right? Like, okay, suddenly I can speak up for myself, and I'm not afraid to be in front of the camera instead of just behind the camera, because that's where sensitive people go. Sensitive people go behind the camera because we can see you, but you can't see us, because we don't want you to see us. We don't let you see us. In fact, I'm going to say that was a big theme of the call that I had today, was a woman finally getting to that place where she's tired of not being seen, and she's tired of hiding herself, because it's a two-way street. You can't just blame other people for not seeing you. I'm really well aware when I photograph people that not everyone wants to be seen. A lot of people want a pretty picture, or they think they want a pretty picture, but they just want the pretty picture. They don't really want you to go beyond that. And if you don't want someone to go beyond that, do not come to me because I don't have time for that. I don't have time for surface BS and just pretty surface picture. Like, I need to pierce the image. I need to go beyond the image. It's funny, this person I was speaking to today, I did take her picture back then in 2017 with Sue Morter at this particular event. There were only, I don't know, a dozen of us there that day. It was a very small event, very rare. It was at a unusual location, and I just snapped a picture of each person with Sue that day. And my friend I was talking to today couldn't believe the picture. She was really like blown away that it captured her in some way, like I saw her in some way. And I don't remember it. I didn't remember. I was able to find it, and I was able to send it to her again today. And I don't remember doing it, and I don't remember being conscious of it. But I am conscious that in the moment when I am making a photograph, it's not, there's just a part of me that feels the person. And I can feel the person who doesn't want to be photographed, or who's uncomfortable, or feels awkward or shy or whatever. And so, I mean, I say the dumbest stuff when I'm taking pictures, really, like so stupid. I do it all the time. It's like babble, 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 babble. Like, I say that I was afraid to speak, and that's true for on camera. But oh my God, the blah 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 that I say when I'm taking pictures, it makes me laugh. And it's just like, part of it is just to loosen people up. It's just I don't know. Maybe it's a gift of conversation, but it's not. It's nothing. It's never meaningful. Well, I don't know. Maybe people remember it. I don't remember it. It just happens. but it's just to pierce the bubble. Like imagine people who are always thinking, oh, I look terrible in pictures. There's a certain energy to that, like, oh, I just look terrible in pictures, like, don't take my picture. And when people say that, they're putting a bubble around themselves, and they're projecting a sort of energy which, honestly, they want someone to pierce it. I mean, it's a little bit of a protective field, it's a little bit of a bubble, but they also kind of secretly want someone to pop the bubble, or like get beyond it. Um, and I'm not saying I'm always that person. I'm not. Oh, I said this. I said this to my friend today. This is a really good quote. Um, I can photograph anyone, but I don't want to photograph everyone. So I can get there probably with anyone. Um, but not everybody wants that. And I guess I've just gotten to a place in my life where if it's really that hard, I'm not the person. There's other people. There's a million photographers out there. Um, I'm looking for people that are looking for something deeper, something that provokes a feeling, either now or later, or just makes them feel better. I guess I just want everyone to feel better. Yeah, that'd be great. I would love it if everyone would just feel better. Um, so if I can do that by turning on a little flashlight, my little magic flashlight, otherwise known as my camera, shine a little light. Um, awesome. I think that's why Sydney and I are such a good pair. I think he knows this about me. I think he sees this about me. No doubt he'll comment on this. Okay, hi babe, bye babe. Okay, I guess I had more to say than I thought, but I'm done now. It's Friday night. I'm toast.